Welcome to this video walkthrough of two WordPress-based email marketing and automation solutions called FunnelKit and FluentCRM. If you are not familiar with these tools, go watch some videos. Go Google, YouTube, FluentCRM, FunnelKit. They both have a ton of videos, a ton of influencers that make videos about them and how to use them, as well as respective Facebook groups. What I want to do is compare the two through the lens of integration, data flow, access, organization to take action on, right? I want to know, how do these platforms perform in terms of capturing lead generation? How do I capture that data? When the data is in the platform, what does it look like so that we can understand how it's organized both manually and automatically? And then what does that organization, what type of action does that enable us to do? That's the lens, all right? I want to know, if I put this in my stack, how can it work in sync with the other tools that I'm using, all right? And what's important before we really jump into it is the fact that this is still fairly new. WordPress-based solutions for email marketing and automation are still newish. No. I'm not even going to say newish. They're new. There's a lot of WordPress developers that still are not familiar with FluentCRM or FunnelKit. There's still a lot of email marketers and digital marketers as well that believe that the only platforms that you can use to send email effectively and run automation around are ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, ConvertKit, whatever platform you've looked at, MailerLite, Bento, Brevo, things of that nature, right? Well, I just want to show you, expose you all to how these two platforms perform, again, with respect to data. I think these are things that you really need to know about, especially if you're in the service of if you're in the profession of providing automation as a service. I was pleasantly surprised. So I believe you all will too. So what we see right here, you all will be too. So what we see right here are two platforms. This one is FunnelKit. This one is FluentCRM. All right. So I'm going to walk through a few of the settings and just see how are certain things handled in each platform. So first up, let's just look at the dashboard. This is FluentCRM's dashboard. And what you'll see is a more plain vanilla, just here it is. Here you go. There's not a whole lot of UI or, modern CSS applied to this to make it look fancy or anything. Hey, but it's effective, right? It gives us our active contact count, number of campaigns, email sent. Email sent would be emails through automations or sequences, by the way, because a campaign is an email, but you see they count them differently. Tags, email templates, quick links, and some view of subscriber growth, right? So nothing too fancy, nothing to really get excited about, but I'm not going to take away points for them. However, I will give points to FunnelKit, because FunnelKit, as we see, gives us a lot more on the dashboard. Let me scroll up here. You'll see, they got their welcome message that you can dismiss this. We can get this out of here. I'll do that later. And here we go. We have our overview of contacts, email sent, SMS, top performing broadcasts, a contact stream and flow to the right, top automations. It gives you really more important information just by logging in. Just by going into it, we see more here than we did with FluentCRM. So next up, what I would like to do is just go through each one of these platforms and step by step in the most important areas. All right. So yes, I would love to just dive right into the automations. But before we get there, we really have to prepare. So how do we collect data? How is data stored in these platforms? So that is done by going to the contacts area. So I'm just going to pull up the contacts in FluentCRM. CRM, I'm also going to pull up the contacts in FunnelKit. Again, we've got a side-by-side comparison. I've got more contacts, test contacts. They're all me in FunnelKit than I do FluentCRM, but you get the point. If we go up here, let me jump up to the settings here. If we jump up here, you'll get a better view of these different platforms. So we've got email, name, list, tags, status. Yep, all good. We can change the columns there. If I go into FunnelKit, pretty much the same. Created, date, country, region, state. You get a lot more. Let me see if I do this. I can also, this is sorting. And here we go. And this is how I can add new columns there. All right. So both can do the same thing in terms of displaying. The next thing I want to do is I just want to go to tags. Adding a tag is you just put the name in there for FunnelKit. Let's go to tags in FluentCRM, create a tag. You see it's a little more, right? A title, a slug, and then you have an internal subtitle, which is a description. Now, I prefer this. I prefer to be able to do something like this. Who cares about the slug, but for testing purposes only, right? Hit create and then have that there. I think you can't have enough documentation. So here we go. That's how you look at, that's the difference in the setups between the tags in both platforms. Now we need to get to fields, custom fields, all right? Because this is where we store our data. In FluentCRM, I believe it's in forms. No, it's not in forms. Where are my custom fields? Here, they're in settings. You go to settings and then you do custom contact fields. Now, does that make sense? Not really. It would make sense for them to be right here, just like you have lists and tags, but hey, we're here. So you go to add a field and we can select which type. Now, label and then a field grouping. All right, so great. We can group our fields. Can we do the same? Can we do the same with FunnelKit? Right here, FunnelKit contextual. I'm on contacts. Yes, it makes sense that I will be able to select fields. We've got groups and we create a field and we do the same thing. Select a group and let's select a field type and then you can create it. All right, so great. Creating custom fields is fine in both of them. Now, the main thing I want you all to be thinking about is, yes, drop downs, yes, radio buttons, checkboxes, and all of those are nice. They tend to cause issues when you try to integrate because it could be a Boolean expression. It could be passing a real value, things of that nature. So I usually just look for a text input and a date in a date box. So that as long as you have a text in the date box, we can do whatever we need to do with that data format if we need to pass it throughout. So FunnelKit checks that box. And right here, we've got single line text and date. Okay, so that's really all I look for. I know some of you are like, but I need a radio button. I need a drop down. I'll do all of that in other form software and then place that value in the field if I need to. But when you start to try to match drop boxes and multi-select and check boxes with other fields and integrations, it's just a nightmare because none of them really play that well together. So we saw that here in FluentCRM. I had to kind of go and find the custom fields. So let's go back and look at the list. Now, here's something that both of these platforms do, and this is all because of WordPress, by the way. Let me just say main list, everybody. Okay. This is mainly a WordPress thing. And so what you can do is you can have contacts in the database. These contacts can receive emails, but not be on a list. And and that's for both of them. That's for both of them. We have this list here, but I can go here and select on a contact. I don't know if, look, He's not on a list, but I can still send emails. That is because between these two platforms, let me break this down real quick. What's happening is these two platforms are treating WordPress as a database. As long as you're in the database, you can get emails. The lists are one step under that database that says these are the type of emails that we're sending. If you're on this list, you get these emails. If you're on this list, you get these emails. But you're in the WordPress database. Both of these platforms have a way to mark somebody as subscribed and unsubscribed with respect to the WordPress database. Unsubscribing from a list does not remove them from the database. So that's an important differentiator where you have, other platforms that have lists, you have to be on a list, right? And once you unsubscribe from a list, you can't be mailed anymore. It's a little different functionality here. So I just wanted you all to understand it. It kind of took me a little bit to wrap my head around it. But when they come in, when someone comes in, you see this here in FluentCRM, this subscribed status. Well, I'm setting that with the form that they submitted or the way that they entered. I'm setting that status. Beware, any platform that lets you send emails to unverified, they really put themselves at risk of people abusing it. So just know that how they handle contacts being added to the list, totally different, just totally different. And again, that's a WordPress thing. That's a WordPress thing. And I just realized you all weren't seeing that. What I was looking at here was this is verified. This was unverified, I should say. And then in FluentCRM, you'll see that I have the status subscribed, but I'm not on a list. All right. So either way, you're in the WordPress database. And I would imagine when someone, whether you're verified or not, like in FunnelKit, if someone hits unsubscribe, it's going to update this status to unsubscribed. And then at that point, you won't be able to send. I believe it's going to do the same here where it says unsubscribed. And at that point, you're not able to send or bounced. Anything of that nature is what we can look at. All right. So we've got how we get data in. Well, how we prepare to get data in, let me say. Now, here's the thing. You're going to need a form. A form is going to be your primary means of collecting information. Now, I clicked on forms here in FluentCRM and it says, hey, it looks like you didn't create any forms yet. Well, to create my first form is actually going to take me to Fluent Forms. I'm not going to go through that process, but just know Fluent has their own suite of products and Fluent Forms is their form builder. Once you build a form in Fluent Forms, you have a ton of capabilities on how to integrate. And in fact, I am going to show that. Let me just keep going for time's sake right now, though. But if I go into FunnelKit and I say I need to create a form, you see I have the forms right here. So I have this lead form. And what I did is you can select all of these types of forms, right? So pretty much any WordPress-based form software or plugin this can tie into. Then I'm just using a FunnelKit one, and I've already created a form within their platform. So FunnelKit has forms that you can create on their landing pages, checkout pages, and all of that. So I'm just referring to one of those. You're going to map all of your fields. Not sure why this is not mapped, but you go in first name, email, which are you, which color best describes you, right? So we're mapping everything over. So at the point of filling out that form, all of those fields come over. All right. Update existing. Yep. I do want to update. Don't update blank values. That's correct. Trigger automations. I don't see where I can set the status, right? Not here. So anyways, we go here and then we get a notification if we want to or not. This is how you do forms. Now, I've done a lot of testing on here. So what I did is I believe I set up like a Fluent form or a different form. And then I said, well, can I capture it? Because usually you're not going to be using your CRM software's forms. Some people do, but as your needs grow and things get a little more advanced, you won't be using those. So you'll see here how you can integrate and get all the way to adding. Can we add tags? We're triggering an automation for tag and list related events. So we can trigger automations here. That just allows us to see it as a start trigger, an extra step there. So let me go here and actually do this. We're going to create a very simple form. I do not want double opt-in. I'm going to control that. All right. As you see, they're going to be added to a list, and I'll give them a tag. All right. So a lot of this is very straightforward. Many of you, if you've ever done anything with any email marketing software, this is very common to you. Now, I'm not going to edit the form. You can go and make it look beautiful and all those. What I'm interested in is editing the connection. So here we have a connection, and we could change the name of it to the opt-in. We're mapping the fields the same way, right? Go down here, select. Oh, I only have the email address on the form. But if I have first name and last name, I could put it here. Down here, these are where we have our custom fields. So for me, is the one that I created. These are the default fields. And you'll see that it can grab any value from the form. Now, here's what's important. You see things like, where is it? Referral URL, right? Or embedded URL, page title, things of that nature. So we're starting to see a little bit of attribution, right? I can grab the URL that somebody opted in on, and I can potentially see either where they came from or that URL in itself, if it has any value or meaning to me. All right. I do have other fields in here. What I'm curious on is, why does it not display down here? Anyways, these two. These two are custom fields that I created. All right. Oh, I didn't create one for this video. So here we go. We can add tags. Look at this. Enable dynamic tag selection. Set this tag if they enter a certain value. All right. All right. We're starting to see some differentiation here, right? Just native, just out the gate. Skip if contact already exists. I'm not going to go through all these, and this is interesting too. Enable conditional logic on. These are for notifications, right? So select if email address is equal to that, then no, these are not email notification. What you're doing is you're removing tags conditionally. Anyways, so you've got a lot more functionality out the gate with FluentCRM. You're starting to see why it started to lean that way, because when it comes to non-e-commerce, just sending emails and everything, FluentCRM seems to really fit that bill. All right. So now let's go back where what you didn't see is, you see this Fluent Forms Pro. It took me into Fluent Forms. And now this will take me back into FluentCRM. So you see the two are talking. It's a little bit of a disjointed experience, but they are talking. So now we know how to get information in, how to store them, how it is stored. Let's look at segments real quick. I want to see how we do segments. In FluentCRM, there are advanced filters. And then right here, you start to add your criteria. So contact is going to give you all of the default contact information. If you created custom fields, they'll be here. Custom fields, they will not be under contacts. Now, contact segment, we can do status, type, tags, list, or user role. Activities, last email sent, opened, email clicked. You cannot look at a specific link and said has clicked this specific link. In both platforms, they have to be what they call trigger links or smart links, whatever the case may be. But last email clicked is within the last 30 days. So now we've got some frequency and recency segmenting that we can do here. Let me go back here. Campaign email. You can select, click the link. This is click the link in the campaign email, right? So these are emails that you send out, not through automations, but just out. You cannot specify which link. Just they clicked one. So if you have a footer with a bunch of links, you may not want to use that action, right? Automation activity. This is interesting. Has completed. I can't see. I've got this font in my way. Has canceled. Waiting. What is that? Oh, it's active. Status active. Waiting, in progress, not in progress. So we've got some dynamic segmenting that we can do based on what they're doing within automations. And then lastly, event tracking, event key, event occurrence, event value, and event title. This is extremely important for those of you that at some point want to go beyond the basics and start sending events over to FluentCRM. You can now take those events like a purchase, a abandoned cart, any other event. If you're using WP Fusion like I do, if they watched a video, if they've completed a course, things of that nature, look, you can segment on that stuff. That's extremely powerful to me. Now, when I go over into FunnelKit, go to contacts, theirs are called audiences. All right. And you'll want to go down here to audiences and create an audience. And here, let's just look at their filters. So we got segments, same thing, status, tags, and lists. All right. Contact details. These are all the custom fields that come default. Here's my custom fields. Here's WordPress stuff, user role. Now they added geography. Okay. So that's one. All FluentCRM, you had these address fields. They just weren't their own geography thing. Engagement. Look at this. Engaged and unengaged. They have their own definition. There's some settings that you can go and see. I think it's something like hasn't opened or clicked in 30 days. And maybe I think you can even change that so you know what engaged and unengaged is. Link trigger clicked. Last login. Now, this is important. Link trigger clicked. We did not see this in FluentCRM. This is one of the things that kind of frustrated me because we should be able to see that. But what FluentCRM says is if you want to track a specific link, create a smart link and then add a tag. We're not going to go and let you see who's clicked that link retroactively, which I think is a huge oversight. FunnelKit gets this right. Last login, last open, last sent, last clicked. All right. And if I do last open, it's before, within, you see that? So very similar right now. Where things start getting a little interesting, broadcast sent, opened, and clicked is here in the automations, just a little different. Has ever entered, currently in, and completed. Now, when we went back, when we were in here in FluentCRM, with contact activities, automation activities, we had quite a few completed. They're active. They canceled. Waiting, in regardless of status, not in regardless of status. So it's really going to be up to you how you want to kind of combine this data to find the exact contact that you want. But for the most part, everything that you've seen would handle probably 80 to 90% of the needs of people, leaning more towards FluentCRM because of events. However, when I go here to FunnelKit, you'll see checkout page, opt-in form. So now I've got other actions. Somebody who's visited this checkout page, somebody who's filled out this form in FunnelKit. I've got abandoned cart native into here. FunnelKit starts to really separate itself on the e-commerce side because it will also start allowing you to do downsells. Have they purchased a downsell or not? And do action off of that. So extremely powerful. And this segmentation piece right here is where you really start to see the divide get bigger. You really start to see, oh, that's why I would use FunnelKit for e-commerce, right? I mean, they have I'm not doing a great job of showing you all of the FunnelKit capabilities, but if I were to go into the funnel builder, you would see all of these options. In fact, that form that you saw, that form could have been the first form of the checkout. right? You can create it like that, where you're just collecting their information. So once they fill out that form, and when I say that form, is that form that I was about to create, right? But if I go back here, opt-in form, you'll see, I can't remember the name of it, but it was this one, opt-in. All right. If that's my first form before they go to the checkout, that form starts a automation. I'm waiting 15 minutes to see if they purchased. If not, boom, kicks off another email, or kicks off the abandoned cart email. So their funnel platform talks to their email marketing platform, which makes it extremely powerful because their funnel platform is all about products, all about e-commerce and selling products. So that's how they both handle segmentation. I would give them a rank. I can't even rank one greater than the other because it's just all in how you learn the platform and decide to use it, really. What I liked about FunnelKit was the fact that I could go back retroactively and say, has clicked this exact smart link, right? Now, when we go to the contacts, we're collecting information. How does that information look? FunnelKit gives you this is a very modern look, right? It's clean. You have all your engagement on the right side. Here's all your fields. You can collapse them, right? I created this group. I created this field group, and these are my fields, my custom fields in there. I can collapse that as well and make it even cleaner, right? When I go into the automations tab, you'll see that there are some automations. We're going to come back to this in a minute. I want to show you all something when it comes to adding people to automations. You see this add to automation. Love to see this type of functionality. Emails, this will show every email sent. Look at this one, opened and clicked. I can click on it and look at that. It's going to tell me when they opened and when they clicked right there within the email. Real powerful stuff, really good. Now, this is one-off stuff, right? Like you've got to go to the contact record to see this. But if you've got a highly qualified contact that you're looking at, it's nice to be able to see everything right there, right? And then, of course, you have some notes. So let's jump over into Fluent and see how this contact record looks. All right. Let me go here, and you'll see I've got this header that has all of the main information. These little icons, this is total emails sent. This folder is open. This arrow is clicked. So you can see just it's small. I would love for a nice UI, CSS update. I think it would go a long way for the platform. But you'll see that I can get all of that information. I see my tags, lists. I can add them to a tag, add them to a list, all from right here. Then you go down to all of the basic fields, and then you'll see here where it says custom profile data. I created these. Now, it's not, I didn't realize this, or I forgot by the time I recorded this. But you see, I clicked that icon, and right here I can add the fields right there, contextual. I like that. Right now, there is no collapse. You can't collapse or anything like that. So if you probably want to make sure you take that into account when you're creating your fields, and know you're probably going to be scrolling more on FluentCRM. But let's go over. Here's their emails. This is every email that they've been sent from campaigns and automations. So it doesn't matter any email that went out. Now we've got email sequences that they're in. Right. And then automations that they've entered. Add to automation. We can do that right here. OK, and now I want to show you something. I'm going to jump ahead to automations real quick. You'll see I've got 4. When I went back here and said in the emails, add to automation, you'll see all 4 of those automations were available. Now, this is something that you have to be mindful of. And here, when I say add to automation, there's 2 automations that show up, okay? Remember that, the color funnel and the funnel form, all right? If I go to automations, what you will see, you'll see 4 automations. So why can't I add them to these other automations? What's the holdup? What did I do so wrong that you will not allow me to do that? Well, if you click on one of these contacts, go to automations and click add. It gives you this. Learn about the supported automation events. So when you go here, it goes to this documentation and it just shows you these are all of the events that if your automation starts with any of these, that means you can add a contact to it. If your automation does not start with any of these, you will not be able to add a contact to them. All right. So that is an additional level to just understand. It covers pretty much all of your bases, but you've got to be mindful of it. Now that as we're talking about automations, we'll go into that next. And what I will say, and I think we'll do emails, and then we'll end with automations. All right. But what I'm going to say now is that I think both platforms lack the ability for you to start an automation without a trigger. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but it's something that I often do in ActiveCampaign where I'm just adding contacts from another automation and so on and so forth. I just wanted to raise that as something that I observed. Trust me, it is not a big deal at all. No deal breaker, not even close to it. All right. So when we go to email, we've got email broadcasts. So you'll see here, I haven't created one yet, but, well, why not? Why not? Let's just create one. Here we select add. All right. So this is a standard one. Look at this. Include unverified contacts, right? I don't know why I would include soft bounce, but I'll include those contacts. And then it's going to ask me, hey, what do you want to do? And I'm going to go in and grab an audience and say, hey, these are this audience that I created. I named them scared people because the color they selected was yellow. All right. So if you know what yellow means, and maybe I'm dating myself, you get a little chuckle there. So here you go. It applies that audience here. Nobody's in that audience. So I'm just going to take that out. And now I can do it on a single basis. Now I can send this say, hey, let me just send it to these 3 people, right? Of course, this works when things are smaller. This is not going to work as things grow. What I don't know, however, is let's just see something. If I create one, does it still allow me to select? So if I just say contains Chris, supply filters, and look at that. So it's going to pull all of the contacts from that audience, and you can even go a level deeper and say, I know I said this audience, but don't send it to these 2. So I like that. I like that a lot, actually. It gives you the most granular capabilities, right? Most granular capabilities there. I think now that we're here, hold on. I have to pause because it's not often that I see things like that. And I hadn't done that before this recording this video. I need that in every platform. Let me send my segment, select my segment, and usually I'm going to send as is. I'm not going to adjust it. I'm not going to modify it. I'm just going to send it the way that I created it. But there are some times where maybe I want to exclude a couple people. So I would lobby for every platform to see that and make it happen. All right. So we're going back here from my WordPress, blah, 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 subject. Yep. What I want to do is, do you guys want to see the builder? We can look at the builder. All right. All of these platforms now are pretty good. They're pretty good with giving you the functionality that used to just be available in these SaaS products, right? So look at this. I'm not going to go through the full email thing, but you can see. You can drag stuff. You can drop stuff. I can move stuff. I think I can move stuff. I don't know if I can move stuff. It's not allowing me to easily move stuff. So perhaps you can't move stuff, but you can delete. Look at this. You can add link triggers, and there's probably somewhere that you can put merge tags. Conditional content is important, everyone. Can I do that? I see color. I see links. I'm not even clicking on color though. I'm clicking on it. Oh, that's for the text. A merge tag. I don't see conditional content. That doesn't mean it's not here. It clearly just isn't easily visible. All right. For a person like myself, which means it's probably not going to be that easy for you to figure out either. So that is something that I hope is in there. I just don't know. I hope conditional content is there. Conditional content is the ability to say, hey, show this if they meet this criteria. Otherwise, don't. All right. So I hit save. It doesn't close out. You got to go back. All right. So let's just go next. Hopefully it lets me subject. And you go to next. And now here it is. These are your total contacts, your overview, and then you can send it or schedule it. All right. Fairly straightforward. Doing the same thing here. Now I'm more familiar with Fluent, and there's one thing that I'm not even gonna say that. Start writing there. Yep. Continue to the subject line. So right out the gate, you get to write your subject line. I mean, write the content of your email. I'm more prone to do that because, if I got an email that I have in mind to write and I got to do subject line and all that first, it just throws me off. I don't write emails in the platforms that I build them in anyway. Excuse me, but for some of you do, and you'll want to leverage that. That should speed up your workflow. All right. Set a custom from name, add URLs. We're just seeing how it differs. Now we can do all lists, tags, one contact found. Now here's the difference. Okay. One is I can exclude contacts. So this is the equivalent. This is what I'm telling you all. It's not that it's really a comparison of the two. It's really pick one that best suits your business model. Is it more e-commerce? Go with FunnelKit. If it's not, you can go with FluentCRM. Although FluentCRM does integrate with WooCommerce. But they just do things differently, right? So here I would exclude a contact instead of unchecking. There you can select the segment or the criteria and it shows you everyone and you can uncheck. I like the former because right here when it says one contact found, I don't know who that contact is. I can't click and see a list. I can't demo this segment before sending to it. Whereas you saw with FunnelKit, you could see that. All right. Or I can come in here and select a segment last time, later today. And this updates pretty quickly. Or I can do my own advanced filter. All right. But I can't do both where I've got by list and tag. I can't. What I'm saying is this exclude is not available outside of that. So again, I like how FunnelKit does it. I think everybody should do it that way. However, I know how to work around it. I'm not I'm not limited to it. All right. So with that being said, let's jump over. Also, you've got email sequences. So in FluentCRM, you've got sequences. This is going to remind you of like an Aweber. Again, ConvertKit has this currently where you have a sequence of emails all set up. The delays are with respect to the person. Let me make sure I know the delay. After being triggered from the starting date. Yeah, the delay is from when they entered the sequence. So sometimes that can get a little funny because when you're in a automation builder, you're waiting based on the previous action. So this is waiting on the join date. So you'll start to see the data kind of populate. You'll be able to see kind of like drop-offs and things of that nature. If you're sending a sequence of 30 emails, it's actually easier to put it in a sequence. And then in the automation, you say start the email sequence instead of having a long string of 30 emails. It's all personal preference. My thing is, as long as I can see all of my emails and how they perform. Because remember, we want to analyze. We capture the data, organize the data so we can analyze the data to eventually take action on the data, right? So this allows me to do a good analysis on how these emails are functioning. Again, we've got another email feature, which this is a recurring campaign. Which look at this. I can send it every Tuesday. I can send it daily, monthly, set what time and which posts, the duration of posts being published. I can grab that as well. So differentiation. As we see, FluentCRM is really leaning harder on that creative crowd, right? The bloggers, the people who are actually publishing content. It can integrate with WooCommerce as well, but we're starting to see that FunnelKit really is like, hey, look, when you got products and abandoned carts and things of that nature, we're your people. You can pull off the same with both. Both. It's just going to be easier e-commerce with FunnelKit, just like you could do email marketing with FunnelKit. It'd just be easier with FluentCRM, right? So it's up to you. It's up to you. They're both really good platforms, by the way. All right, so that's email stuff. Let's cap this off. We're getting long. I got chapters split up for you all, so you can kind of bounce around. But let's cap this off with automations. Now, out the gate, I'll say this. None of these platforms allow you to have multiple start triggers. So you got one option to start an automation, which is fine, everyone. Let me just hold on. Let me just say this, okay? We're at a day and age where we've got more features and more capabilities than we actually can use to produce more results. And in fact, most of the time, I'm trying to get people to understand that you only need 4 or 5 features. I know the platform has 50, but be okay with those 4 or 5. So what you're seeing here with FluentCRM and Webinar and FunnelKit is that instead of giving you a platform that can do 100 things and you really just need 10 to be successful, these are platforms that are giving you like 20 things and you just need 10 to be successful. So now the overwhelm of, I don't know if I'm using as much, isn't there, right? Because you're only using 10 features. In this WordPress-based solution, you're using 50%. But in another solution, you're only using 10%. Now that additional 90 is room for confusion. It's room for you to be like, oh, maybe I should be doing it this way. It's just more options and more opportunities for you to get confused and mess them up. Whereas these more simplified, the WordPress solutions are definitely more simplified. That doesn't mean they're less powerful. I just said more simplified. They really streamline down in what they give you so that you can truly focus on the 5 to 10 things that you really need to do to be successful, right? So I just wanted to say that before we get into the automation builder, because I do not want people to be like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I'm never using it. You may have to modify your approach depending on what software you came from. But most software solutions do not have multiple start triggers unless you are a more advanced marketing automation platform. All right. So no harm, no foul there. What I want to do is I want to show you all the same sequence built in both platforms. So let me jump into FunnelKit because I think it's built out here. And it's a lead magnet delivery, or is it this? Color follow-up. I think it's that one. Let me look at my lead magnet. These are both good. You know, I'm always testing stuff out. They essentially do the same thing. Essentially what I wanted to do is do some nested if else's and see what it looks like. All right, so starting with FunnelKit, you remember earlier I talked about I wanted to be able to use a form from another software or, whatever. So you see I'm using Elementor. And when I did that, I was like, how do I get the data from the form? Like there's no fields when I select it. Look at this. This is it. If I select done, please choose a different event. I got rid of this form. But anyways, if I were to select done here, let me go to funnel builder form. It'll allow me to grab a form. All right. So same difference. I'll grab this opt-in and then I select the email field. I can select the first name. But look at this, because I have an option that says which color. It's a drop down. I can't select that. So I was like, how do I how do I get that value from the form into the contact record, right? Like if it's not mapped, because what I showed you all was a opt-in form from FunnelKit. It maps on the form, but these other forms did not. They didn't map. So now I'm like, how do I get the data in there? And there's no like extra options. So after a while, what I found out is that nope, I don't want to do that. It was an update action. It was an update custom update contact. And I'm showing you all this because this is using the data that we collected, right? Which one was it? Hold on. It was messaging automations, update fields. Okay. And when you update fields, I can then go and say, hey, which best describes you? And look at this. Now, this kind of reminds me of High Level, how High Level does handles their field updates. It looks very similar. And then I can go and say, map that to wherever the field was that I selected. I don't want to go, there it is. What color best describes you? Okay. So I hit copy and it pastes it right in there. So that is how, if you're using external form software, you've got to do it in the actual automation that's triggered by the form submission. All right. I know it's a little different. You saw in Fluent Forms, you did it right there on the form. And if you're using a native webinar FunnelKit opt-in form, you see I could map it. But if you're using something external, Gravity Forms or some other tool, you'll have to do it this way. It is there. It is there, by the way. You just have to do it this way. All right. So I hit save there. And you see here, we can send emails. One thing that I don't like is that, look at this. Bolt. Update fields, send email. There's no quick differentiation between what is what. It would be nice if this was a blue envelope, so I can just from a glance see, oh, red is update. I mean, look at this, Rocket for submits a form, but there's no differentiation in those actions there. So here's your delays. What can I do? I can delay for a day until a specific time of the day or until a specific day of the week, right? Delay until a specific date and time. This could be can this be a custom field? No, this is all static. And then delay into a custom field. There it is. There's my custom field. All right. So those are your delays. Jump to step if time has passed. So if it's after that, they want you to, it's kind of like a goal, right? Come right here if it's passed. Don't do nothing before, just keep going. All right. So that's the delay function. And then we have our condition, right? Is yellow. And we have our yes and no. We don't have multiple branches. It's just a yes or no. And you kind of look at this. You kind of see how this is very much harder. I have a select and I just want to update the field based on the color they selected. So they could have selected purple, orange, indigo, or yellow. And this is what it looks like. I got to do all this if else in, and it's kind of weird looking. So I don't prefer this. I don't. And there are times where this would swap, like the no will go over here. So the no isn't always on the left. It just depends on, like if I add another branch, if I were to delete something, like maybe I delete this, you'll see that things just, they can swap. So look at this. No is on the left side here. No is on the right side here. Yes is on the left side here. No is on the right side there. It is practically impossible to track this stuff, track the flow. So I am against the way that FunnelKit is doing this. I am definitely not a fan of it. However, you can, let me see. I don't think I've entered this one, but you can view the contact journey through here from here or the contact record. Both of them do not display like in ActiveCampaign as like an overlay. It just gives you a list of what actions they took and what time, well, the timestamp that it took it at. All right. So this is their builder in a nutshell. Let's look at, let me just give you all, if I hit this plus button, conditions, we can do a jump, we can do a goal, and we can exit. All right. So if I were to go here and do a jump, all right, I can configure this to any of these steps. You got to keep track of it, but I'll just do add tags, hit save. And there's no additional string or line. You just know that it's going there. It's going to step 18 action, contact, add tags. You're going to have to know what 18 is, step 18. There it is. So maybe if I rename it, I don't know if I can. You can't rename it. So you're just kind of stuck with trying to figure this out. So not ideal for me. I think for FunnelKit, things have to be linear. You have to keep it linear for them. Now, when we go into, I don't think I have one here. New user welcome. All right. So when we go here, let me, I think this is a old one. Let's do this sequence. Start sequence. All right. Save. Now it's going to start that sequence I told you about. New user comes in, and it's not until they're finished with that they'll go here. Now, you'll see that this is a yes or no. Let me do another one. And by the way, there is no drag and drop in either of these. All right. So just so you know, I'm trying to find the if else. What am I looking past, everyone? Do you all see it? Oh, conditions. That's why. All right. Add another one and just say custom field score is not empty. That's an easy one. All right. So if yes, they'll go through and then come through here. There's unless, can I end it? I can end it. I can end it there. All right. So if yes, they can take some action and then it ends. Right. And if I want to show you how to move stuff around here. Test tag, because you will have some limitations in both of these builders that you need to know about. So I can move it up. I can move it down. You see that? So within this branch, within this box, I can move things. I cannot move it out. I can't drag this and move it down. If I duplicate it, there's no way to get it down to this box. So if you want to run multiple, so hey, did they have green? Nope. Okay, do nothing. Did they have yellow? Nope, do nothing. If they did have it, you do something, then you end the funnel or you end the flow. That's how it looks in, let me move this up. There it is. That's how it looks in FluentCRM. Now it will be great to be able to copy this branch, right? And just paste it down here or do something, but it's not possible. So you have to rebuild this thing. Very manual, very non-ideal, but it is what it is. Now you come here. Oh, let me also show you this. When you're in here, you'll see, you saw up here, my options are limited. If I'm out here, look at that. I got goals, conditions as additional actions. If I'm in a branch, I do not have goals and conditions. All right. So that's another thing to be mindful of, is that you got to learn these builders, everyone. They're different. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It is more limiting. However, most of us can translate what we're doing into platforms like this and be okay. All right. I found workarounds. I found ways to do it. Where you can start sequences. You can start another. Can I start another automation? I can cancel automations from within this one. I can send out webhooks. Look at this. Add event tracking. I can do goals. So it's functional. It's definitely functional, but you see that it's limited. It is limited, but I've been able to, in the couple app businesses that I have deployed Fluent CRM in, it's been working great primarily because people's basic needs, once met, produce results. So they don't need anything fancy. They just need emails to go out every 2 to 3 days, tag, capture some information, store that on the contact record, look at it, take action, right? So these platforms allow you to do those things. These platforms do allow you to do those things out the gate. There's so much more. One thing that I want to mention just before we close out is we talked about trigger links. And when I go to a contact here, I think FunnelKit gets this right. Look at this. Link triggers, they all display here. They all display here on the contact record once somebody has clicked them, and you can segment off of that. Now, again, it's not like that's exclusive, right? It's not like that's exclusive to FunnelKit, but let me show you this. Link triggers. You create one right here. That's the URL. It's the destination. Tells you your total clicks. Now, from here, it's not going to tell you all the people that click. That would be great, right? That would be great to be able to see all the people who click that link. But you do that at this audience building level. All right. Since it has 2 clicks, that could be people, that could be one person that clicked it twice. In this case, it is. Now, Fluent CRM, they're called smart links. And this is, I'll do the same thing. Blog, target URL, we'll just say is my blog. And you see it wants you to apply tags. And that's essentially it. All right. I'm not going to apply any tags or do anything like that. See, I have to. So let's just do that. Okay. I don't want to enable. And it looks like I got to apply them to a list. It says optional though. What am I missing? Maybe this needs to be HTTPS. HTTPS. All right. Save that. There we go. So now I've got that link that I would use in an email. Okay. I have this. If I go here and select down, I can see subscriber clicks. And that's about it, right? But if I want to see these people, I can't do it based on the link. But since I had a tag, I can go and look and see everybody who has the tag. But what I'm saying is I would rather be able to go on a contact list and just see it all right there. I can see what links you've clicked. I would love that. Now, you've got, again, you go here and you look at the contact record. It is showing the tags, but this could be, that it could get convoluted up there. Now you could take the tag, have it start an automation, populate a field, do some other stuff. That's what I'm saying. There's ways to do it. What you're finding, let me just say this in ending. What you'll find is that the SaaS software that has been offering email marketing software for more features, more for longer than these WordPress-based solutions, have streamlined the flow. That's the biggest thing. Yes, they have more features, but it's also more streamlined. There's things that you can do that work within the flow. So in this case, where can I see who clicked the link quickly and easily? No, I can see who clicked the link. But if I want to see everybody, I've got to make sure I set up that link, then add a tag to it, and then I go create a segment on that tag. Whereas if I take ActiveCampaign, I can go on ActiveCampaign right now and say, has clicked on a link, select the campaign and select the link, and it'll pull all of that up. And I don't know trigger links or anything like that. So when you start to look at these platforms, that's the difference you start to make and say, okay, it's going to require a few more steps. It's going to require me to remember things that I don't have to remember in these other platforms because they kind of take care of it for you. And that's as your needs grow. What I would say to you, though, is that most businesses don't have needs that advanced. If you could do basic triggering when someone completes a course, when somebody makes a purchase, when somebody downloads a lead magnet, These are all events that you want to send a few emails out on. And if you did that consistently, combined with a newsletter or some other type of segmented sending, you would be fine. You would be just fine. Your marketing would be firing on all cylinders. Both of these platforms allow you to segment. Both of them, I showed you how you take that data in the automation and use it, how to sitting out with a email. What I did not show, because I want to be fair, here. We didn't look at conditional content. We didn't look at conditional content for, and I didn't even look at the email builder for Fluent. So let me do that. As you see here, same kind of experience. Can I move stuff is always the question. And yes. So you're seeing out the gate, Fluent's going to allow you to navigate this email world a little easier, a lot easier, matter of fact, right? So I'm just, moving stuff around. Now look at this. Smart text. What's the heck is smart text? There's some AI stuff. Hadn't seen that option before, but I believe I can do conditional. I believe. Here it is. Look at that, everyone. Display condition. Show if selected tag. And then I can do that. So it's all based on tags. It's not going to be based on custom fields or anything, which is fine. Tags work, everyone. But we've got some conditional content. So I wanted to mention that because I didn't. I want to be fair. I got on FunnelKit for not having that. But yeah, they have it, as well as being able to add your merge fields. Okay. Now, both platforms did that. I didn't show you merge fields, but just know you can use that, take action on that information that you captured and display it. All right. So what will I say in closing? I'll say this. Would I recommend this software? Yes, I would. And it's on a case-by-case basis, depending on your needs, depending on the complexity of the marketing. If you're already in a WordPress ecosystem, if you have advanced emailing needs and you need data, one thing, because I just don't want to make this video too long, but analytics are something that both of these platforms are working on. They're going to give you the basics. Hey, you sent this email. Here's your opens and click performance. But if you want to start to get more granular, like, hey, how did this segment of contacts perform? Things of that. Again, we're getting at a more advanced level of marketing. Then there's even solutions right now off the shelf that can't do that stuff. So I think these are great platforms to get started. If you are a e-commerce user, definitely WooCommerce. I think it's a no-brainer for FunnelKit, as long as you stay away from that branching. Okay, stay away from that branching and you're fine. It gives you the landing pages, checkout pages, everything. The ability to trigger based on what form they fill out and what data is in that form. It's all there in FunnelKit. Now, if you're not e-commerce and you're more of a content marketing, you have more of a content marketing business model, I have no issue or reservation recommending FluentCRM. In both cases, remember, you're responsible for your own email platform. So you got SendGrid, Mailgun, Amazon SES, whatever the case is, you're responsible for having that server, paying for that server that's going to send emails out for you in both cases. All right. So you've got another added benefit with going to like ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, Keep, things of that nature. They maintain the server for you. They do all of that stuff. When you move WordPress, and High Level has this too, you got to go out and get your own server, which I think is the direction that email is probably going to end up going anyway. Especially you see how now when you sign up, you got to authenticate your domain and do all this stuff anyway. So, but it's something to highlight. So if you're a content creator, FluentCRM. If you're an e-commerce business, FunnelKit. Stay away from the if else's. All right. That's what I would say. And industry, it could be any industry. If you sell courses on WordPress already, Fluent CRM is practically a no-brainer if you want that cohesive experience. It's really going to simplify a lot of things, especially if you use a plugin like WP Fusion. So anyways, this video has been long enough. Hopefully the chapters were helpful. I just wanted to get this wrap up mainly for even myself, because I need to remind myself what these platforms can do, why I liked it and why I didn't. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you have any tools that you want me to look at and review, drop those in the comments as well. Thank you all for attending. Till next time, automate responsibly, my friends.